You and that clicker. You're so silly. Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys.
We're back.
So, for the maybe one person that watches like a quarter of this each time that we post it, we haven't posted any. We hadn't done any Bible study. Well, I take that back. I actually did do a Bible study. I've been gone for 4 days, but I don't think we did it. I think we missed a couple before that too. So
yeah, but I don't think it's important.
Yeah. So almost a week. Anyhow, had to go on a trip, take some horses back. But we tried to do one while we were gone. We actually did one. 33, Exodus 33, 34, and 35. We videoed the FaceTime and had it all set up, but I didn't click the unmute button, so it recorded the whole thing without audio. Anyhow.
Which could be an upgrade.
Yeah. So, anyhow, we're going to continue on. What is this, 36, 37, and 38, Exodus, still in the Old Testament. Just to tell you again, we're doing a Bible giveaway on the 6th, is that what we said?
I don't remember.
I think on the 6th Bible study day that we actually do a Bible study on, we will we'll draw a name. If it's a female, they'll get the Women's Study Bible. If it's a male, they'll get the Every Man's Bible. So that's the one she uses, this is the one I use.
I just realized my fingernails match my glasses. Squirrel.
Anyhow.
That's important.
Yeah.
How the heck did that happen?
Very important.
Anyway, we're giving a Bible away.
So if you know somebody that needs a Bible, or if you'd like a Bible, put your name in, or put somebody else's name in. And no matter where they are in the world, I will get them one of these 2 Bibles. We'll also have it in box with their name. So if you need a Bible, just let us know. We'll get you one. But on the giveaway, we're doing a fancy Bible. Anyhow, anything else?
No, I'm just trying to get back in the groove of sitting here with you while being recorded.
Yeah. Trying to get back in the groove. All right. So, here we go.
Exodus 36. So Bezalel, Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given skill and ability to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the sanctuary are to do the work just as the Lord has commanded. Then Moses summoned Bezalel and Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord had given ability and who was willing to come and do the work. They received from Moses all the offerings the Israelites had brought to carry out the work of constructing the sanctuary. And the people continued to bring freewill offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled workers who were doing all the work on the sanctuary left what they were doing and said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done." Then Moses gave an order, and they sent this word throughout the camp: "No man or woman is to make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary." And so the people were restrained from bringing more, because what they already had was more than enough to do all the work. All those who were skilled among the workers made the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim woven into them by expert hands. All the curtains were the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains.
Hold on. How long is a cubit? Didn't we learn this?
That is about 42 feet long and 6 feet wide, or about 13 meters long and 1.8 meters wide.
How many feet? 1 cubit.
All the curtains were the same size. that is about 42 feet long, 6 foot wide, or 13 meters long and 1.8 meters wide.
Well, I was asking how much a cubit was because it's 28 cubits long.
So I'm guessing it's about 42 feet long.
You still did not answer the question. How big is a
So
cubit?
42 divided by 8.
It's a foot and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Just what it said.
Together, and did the same with the other 5. Then they made loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and the same was done with the end curtain in the other set. They also made 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set, with the loops opposite each other. Then they made 50 gold clasps and used them to fasten the 2 sets of curtains together so that the tabernacle was a unit. They made curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 altogether. All 11 curtains were the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains into one set and the other 6 into another set. Then they made 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set and also along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. They made 50 bronze clasps to fasten the tent together as a unit. Then they made for the tent a covering of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of the other durable leather. They made upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame was 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with 2 projections set parallel to each other. They made all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. They made 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle and made 40 silver bases to go under them, 2 bases for each frame, 1 under each projection. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, they made 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They made 6 frames for the far end, that is the west end of the tabernacle, and 2 frames were made for the corners of the tabernacle at the far end. At these 2 corners, the frames were double from the bottom all the way to the top and fitted into a single ring. Both were made alike. So there were 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They also made crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west, at the far end of the tabernacle. They made the center crossbar so that it extended from end to end at the middle of the frames. They overlaid the frames with gold and made gold rings to hold the crossbars. They also overlaid the crossbars with gold. They made the curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, with cherubim woven into it by a skilled worker. They made 4 posts of acacia wood for it, and overlaid them with gold. They made gold hooks for them, and cast their 4 silver bases. For the entrance to the tent, they made a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. And they made 5 posts with hooks for them. They overlaid the tops of the posts and their bands with gold, and made their 5 bases of bronze.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I feel like, you know those math questions where they ask you, so Billy walks into the store and he has 42 cents.
Mm-hmm.
He spends 8 cents. Somebody else gave him $1. He lost a dime. That's kind of how I feel when we're reading this. I feel like there's a lot of information, and some of it I'm like, there's a reason why they're telling us that. You know, like how wide it was. I mean, other than just so it's documented. But I keep feeling like I keep looking for details that I'm gonna need at a later exam. Like, because it's so much information.
Yeah.
And there's so much detail, I keep looking for what I've got to hold on to. This is one of those things that I'm not really sure.
To me, it's I don't want to say that I don't feel like this is important in the Bible, because it's part of it, and I feel it wants to show you the conviction they felt, when they worship God,
and to follow His every instruction.
Yeah, but it keeps losing me. Like I find myself. Oh, where were we?
It's hard with all because it's repetitive.
Yeah. Because I don't really care how it was built. I mean, it's kind of fascinating, but I don't care how stuff is built. I care what God's telling me to do.
Yes, I understand.
I don't know, does that sound wrong?
I think it's kind of
I'm probably gonna get struck for that.
I think we're at a point where we're being given information that's not necessarily a filler, but like it's kind of like the backstory whenever you're watching a movie.
I mean, it's important.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just so many details, and I'm like,
Yeah, I get lost in details.
So what was is it cherubim?
Cherubim wood?
Now, didn't we?
I don't know. Alright, so I'll read what I got here. 35, 4 through 9, and then verse 29 also. This freewill offering was given by the Israelites to show their commitment to God. Many of the other sacrifices and offerings and the laws of Moses were mandatory. That was in 35, but we're in 36, aren't we?
Yes.
I only got one thing for 36. People who were greatly gifted needed to have clear sense of their identity. Often such people can be described as either self-glorifying or self-depriving. Neither is a healthy or accurate self-assessment, and neither is pleasing to God. There should be no sense of superiority or inferiority among God's people, since every member plays a unique and important role. So that was part of 35 and 36. That's all I've got for that. There really can't be too much on it because it's just...
Well, we've already covered it once.
It's an architecture.
But I mean, all the details, it was all covered when he originally said it.
A builder's guide. There we go. That's what it is. It's a builder's guide.
Bob Vila?
Yeah. I feel that's what the rest of Exodus is going to be. It's going to be a construction guide. So.
Well, we got to build it to worship, so.
With that being said, let's go and get it knocked out.
Exodus 37. Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. He overlaid it with pure gold, both inside and out, and made a gold molding around it. He cast 4 gold rings for it and fastened them to its 4 feet, with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Then he made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. And he inserted the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark to carry it. He made the atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. Then he made 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. He made 1 cherub on one end and the second cherub on the other. At the 2 ends he made them of one piece with the cover. The cherubim had their wings spread upward. Oh.
No, that's not what I was thinking of earlier. Hold on. I said cherubim, and you said, but that's not.
To wood.
Cherubim with cherubim woven into them by expert hands? That's not wood. What is it?
Oh, I'm thinking of acacia wood.
Yeah, this says then cherubim had their wings spread out. Okay, so
the cherub.
I thought that the cherubim were the cherubs basically.
Hell, I don't know.
Well, then how were they woven into the
cherubs and cherubim? Cherubim are 2 different things. Cherub and a cherubim.
No, cherubim and cherub.
Yeah, that's what it just said.
Because here, yeah, I don't know.
Shadowing the cover with them. The cherubim faced each other, looking toward the cover. They made the table of acacia wood 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. Then they overlaid it with pure gold and made a gold molding around it. They also made around it a rim, a handbreadth wide, and put a gold molding on the rim. They cast 4 gold rings for the table and fastened them to the 4 corners where the 4 legs were. The rings were put close to the rim to hold the poles used in carrying the table. The poles for carrying the table were made of acacia wood and were overlaid with gold. And they made from pure gold the articles for the table, its plates and dishes and bowls and its pitchers for the pouring out of drink offerings. They made the lampstand of pure gold. They hammered out its base and shaft and made its flower-like cups, buds, and blossoms of one piece with them. 6 branches extended from the sides of the lampstand, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms were on one branch, 3 on the next branch, and the same for all 6 branches extending from the lampstand. And on the lampstand were 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. 1 bud was under the first pair of branches extending from the lampstand, a 2nd bud under the 2nd pair, and a 3rd bud under the 3rd pair, 6 branches in all. The buds and the branches were all of one piece with the lampstand hammered out of pure gold. They made it 7 lamps as well as its wick trimmers and trays of pure gold. They made the lampstand and all its accessories from 1 talent of pure gold. They made the altar of incense out of acacia wood. It was square, 1 cubit long and 1 cubit wide and 2 cubits high. Its horns of one piece with it. They overlaid the top and all the sides and the horns with pure gold, and made a gold molding around it. They made 2 gold rings below the molding, 2 on each of the opposite sides, to hold the poles used to carry it. They made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. They also made the sacred anointing oil and the pure, fragrant incense, the work of a perfumer.
Okay.
You know what I'm getting out of this? There's a whole lot of gold.
I was thinking, I wonder how long it took to make it. Because, it doesn't, so many times when we're reading things, like, it doesn't tell us how long something happened. Like, it tells us what happened. Sometimes it says X amount of years, right? 40 years. Methuselah was 190. How old was Methuselah? 796. Anyway, the point is sometimes it gives us definitive time, and others it doesn't. And I'm thinking, this is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a lot of work and dedication by people who, not too long before this, had decided that Moses was up on the mountain too long with God. You know what I mean? So this is a pretty big...
Yeah.
Whenever he said, I'm not going with you, that kind of straightened them up. And here they are working, doing their job. Okay. Let's see if mine says anything. I don't have anything for 37. It just says notes, notes reference 2510. So it takes us back to, I have you guys, I don't know if you saw this in the last one, but this is an image of everything in the description. And this is where the seating in the tabernacle, but this is like the ark and everything here. Which, he doesn't have cool pictures. I do.
Men don't need picture books.
Men are very visual.
Mine says 37, 1 through 9, high expectations are difficult to anyone to cope with. Even for people with a great deal of ability, it is quite common for supremely gifted people to never approach their potential because they fear failure. The craftsman Bezalel did not allow the high expectations laid upon him to hinder his work, because God had filled him with his spirit and given him unusual skills. He willingly used his gift to glorify God. not only in building the tabernacle, but also in teaching others. Bezalel's life is a good example for us to live by today.
I don't have anything. Mine just says see the pictures.
Yeah, yours just shows you more pictures.
Are you being ugly during Bible study?
I think that, I guess kind of my takeaway from that is, I think I said it a couple studies ago, that I don't think it really matters if you're called to do something, whether you're, like, regardless if you know how to do something. If you're called to do it, if the Lord calls you to do something, then He'll give you the gift to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or you have a gift because you have because God has a plan for you.
You know, because there's, you know, or whether He gives you, I guess, the foresight to figure it out. Does that make sense?
You mean to figure out how to do something?
It, how to build it, or something like that. Like you may not, like it may not be in the back of your mind. Like for instance, if you know, I had a dream one night and God said, hey, you know what? Go to your church, gather the guys, and y'all start building the new building. Just start it. I would have no clue. But I think he gives you the foresight to figure it out and get it done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're led to do something, and even though you don't think you're prepared to do it or have the ability to do it, if you just follow blindly to where it will come. Things will fall into place. Yeah.
You know, like would I go just start welding up a structure, like not knowing. I mean, you know, I know to weld, but not knowing how the braces should be to even maintain this large building.
Well, I think it's not always like. It's not always like, it's not just going to pop into your head. I mean, that's not always the way it works, like a savant or something, but more so, like you said, to be able to, it will unfold, like somebody will come into your path that knows how, you know what I mean? Like He will bring the people in order. Does that make sense? Like, things don't happen like boom. I mean, like one person doesn't always carry the burden, but they may be the person that puts it together or that can reach out to others to have it done. You know what I mean? Like it'll fall in place, but it's just because you don't know how to physically do that doesn't mean that He won't bring you somebody that can. Maybe?
Right. And continue.
I have seen you tear apart a tractor that you had no idea what was doing.
Yeah, but it still had to go to the shop.
Yeah, well, you meant one.
So that's a very bad
Exodus
example.
38. They built the altar of burnt offering of acacia wood, 3 cubits high. It was square, 5 cubits long, and 5 cubits wide. They made a horn at each of the 4 corners so that the horns and the altar were of one piece, and they overlaid the altar with bronze. They made all its utensils of bronze, its pots, shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and fire pans. They made a grating for the altar, a bronze network to be under its ledge halfway up the altar. They cast bronze rings to hold the poles for the 4 corners of the bronze grating. They made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. They inserted the poles into the rings so they would be on the sides of the altar for carrying it. They made it hollow out of boards. They made the bronze basin and its bronze stand from the mirrors of the women who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Next they made the courtyard. The south side was 100 cubits long and had curtains of finely twisted linen, with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, and with silver hooks and bands on the post. The north side was also 100 cubits long and had 20 posts and 20 bronze bases with silver hooks and bands on the post. The west end was 50 cubits wide and had curtains, with 10 posts and 10 bases, with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The east end toward the sunrise was also 50 cubits wide. Curtains 15 cubits long were on one side of the entrance, with 3 posts and 3 bases, and curtains 15 cubits long were on the other side of the entrance to the courtyard, with 3 posts and 3 bases. All the curtains around the courtyard were of finely twisted linen. The bases for the posts were bronze. The hooks and bands on the posts were silver, and their tops were overlaid with silver. So all the posts of the courtyard had silver bands. The curtain for the entrance to the courtyard was made of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. It was 20 cubits long, and like the curtains of the courtyard, 5 cubits high, with 4 posts and 4 bronze bases. Their hooks and bands were silver, and their tops were overlaid with silver. All the tent pegs of the tabernacle and of the surrounding courtyard were bronze. These are the amounts of the material used for the tabernacle. The tabernacle of the covenant law, which were recorded at Moses' command by the Levites under the direction of Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest. Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made everything the Lord commanded Moses. With him was Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and designer, and an embroiderer in blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen. The total amount of the gold from the wave offering used for all the work on the sanctuary was 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. The silver obtained from those of the community who were counted in the census was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. 1 becca per person, that is half a shekel, according to the sanctuary shekel, from everyone who had crossed over to those counted, 20 years old or more, a total of 603,550 men. The 100 talents of silver were used to cast the bases for the sanctuary and for the curtain, 100 bases from the 100 talents, 1 talent for each base. They used the 1,775 shekels to make the hooks for the posts, to overlay the tops of the posts, and to make their bands. The bronze from the wave offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. They used it to make the bases for the entrance to the tent of meeting, the bronze altar with its bronze grating and all its utensils, the bases for the surrounding courtyard and those for its entrance, and all the tent pegs for the tabernacle and those for the surrounding courtyard.
Okay. I'm not really sure how many shekels that is, but that sounds like a lot. What did he say? He said...
Well, there was also 603,550 men.
That was from a census, so that was...
That's, I think that's more than...
1 becca per person. A becca's half a shekel. More than what, man?
What's the population of Longview and Tyler? That's still bigger than the population, I think, of Longview and Tyler.
That's just the men.
Put together, yeah. This is a huge...
Yes.
This is a huge deal.
This is not a... It's. I kept thinking... Because I keep going back to how many people were traveling, right? And how many were together.
Mm-hmm.
And then how long it took to do this. And there was so much gold and silver and everything brought. He had to say no more. This is such an undertaking. Can you imagine organizing that many people?
I couldn't imagine getting everyone in the city of Gilmer to bring $1.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is like everybody showed up and showed out. Like everybody brought an offering.
More than
what they needed.
Kept coming, yeah.
I couldn't imagine asking the city of Gilmer, hey, we're building we're building a new church. We're doing something. We need everybody in the city to bring us $1. I bet a third, if that, would come. Same thing for Longview. Same thing for Tyler.
Well, I don't disagree, but that's because everybody is independent thinking. There's no one guide. Like these people are all being led, all following God.
Yeah.
By choice.
I think a big deal is people worship their money so much that they wouldn't bring $1. Oh, I could buy a Coke with that, or I could buy me something with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just don't. I wished I had more faith in humanity.
I know.
I wish I liked people as much as I do animals.
Am I rubbing off on you?
No, I think so.
I think I am.
You know, I was thinking about this yesterday.
I think I am rubbing off on you.
While I was driving down the interstate. You know, when I left to go to Utah, carrying the horses, you know, I had pretty good faith in people, you know? But it's like, and anybody that's ever hauled horses or cattle or anything, they know that once you put that trailer on there, people turn into assholes.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's so selfish. They're not thinking about. They don't think about cargo. I mean, they just miss the trailer and carrying lives. But you can also back up to how much disrespect we have for other vehicles that aren't going the speed limit or as fast as we want them to, and we don't think about the fact that they may have their parents, elderly parents or children in their car. They may, you don't know. I mean, we're so self-centered on it's all about me. I need to get where I'm going. I agree with you. People just, it's easier to get angry and dismiss somebody and get them out of the way than slow down. But do you know that every time somebody pulls in front of me, I've been practicing this for probably a couple years now, because I drive fast. I do. I drive wide open and fast, and I'm a little haphazard, truth be told. But so when somebody pulls in front of me and they're going a lot slower than I am, I think to myself, God's slowing me down. I do. I think to myself that. I think God is slowing me down for a reason. I try to look at it that way.
Tell you, when I was going through Dallas yesterday, I lost faith in everyone. You know, I pretty much went so from here to get the horses in, where was it? Palmer, Texas. And then to Amarillo. And from Amarillo to Kanab, Utah. From Kanab, Utah, back to Amarillo. Amarillo, I get back to Dallas, all hell broke loose. And let me tell you,
it's a selfish driving environment.
If you're ever hauling livestock, horses, you know, whatever the case may be, it may cost you about $30 or $40 to get through Dallas and Fort Worth, but the toll road
is the way to go.
Is your friend.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have, you know, you have an empty trailer. I'm telling you, the toll road, I think 8 out of 10 times, the toll road will get you around all the wrecks. It did me yesterday coming home, for sure. I mean, like, the very first, kind of getting away from this, but the very first toll road, when I hit Dallas, you know, the phone it said, veer left into the toll road. And I was thinking to myself, man, I really don't want to spend the money. You know, I've got an empty trailer. It's gonna cost me $30 just to get through Dallas. You know, because a trailer you're looking at like for a regular vehicle, some of the tolls are $4.50. If you got a truck and trailer, you're looking at like $10
Yeah.
to go down it. And I'm
On
like,
the
man,
axles,
this is going to cost us $30 or $40 just to get through here. I really shouldn't spend that extra money. Blah blah blah. But then, right at the last minute, she told me, get over again. Again, she just kept telling me, get over, get over, get over. Veer left to the toll road. And at the last minute, I was like, all right, what the hell? Here we go. So I veered over, and it wasn't 100 yards. Cars were backed up for like 2 miles.
Good
I was
choice.
like, what? Mm-hmm. Anyhow, kind of got off the subject there a little bit, but okay. So for 38, what did we do? Did we go through 38? Yeah. So for 38, the dollar value of gold, silver, bronze, and other materials used to build the tabernacle would be mind-boggling. But the value of the materials used does not reflect empty extravagance or showiness. It only illustrates how precious and invaluable the presence of God really is. We can see here that the people's faith had surpassed the point of hanging on to material things. They were beginning to learn to trust God as they shared the wealth He had given them. And that kind of goes in. That kind of circles back to tithing in the church. We tithe. We don't tithe what we're supposed to. But we're
dang close.
We're getting better at it. And I think when it comes to tithing, it's God give you what you have. Regardless of how you think about it, everything you've got, from the underwear to the socks to the money in your pocket to the tractor in your field to the the junk in your attic, God give it to you.
Well, there's there's blessings. Everything's.
You got it by the grace of God. There's no two ways around it. If it wasn't by God's hand, you wouldn't have the scrap metal behind your barn. You wouldn't have just whatever. You got it by the grace of God. But it does take a leap of faith to tithe. It takes a huge leap of faith to tithe.
I can remember a time when it made me, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say uncomfortable, but like I was nervous. When I was younger, I was nervous to write a check to the church to tithe. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right, because no matter what, I feel that no matter what, you'll figure it out. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you give, it'll come back to you tenfold. Even if you can't afford to give, if you give something,
even if it's just your time.
If you give something, it don't have to be money, but like Angela said, if you give just your time, it'll come back to you tenfold.
Okay, so now we're ready to read?
Yeah.
Or listen? Or is this that again? Here, you do it. I never do it. Why?
Hey, did you... no, I better not talk about that. No, actually I will, because this is very interesting. Did you see where Amazon changed the icon of their phone icon?
I guess I didn't pay attention. I don't pay attention. Okay.
This is kind of off the subject. This is way off the subject of Bible study.
Here we are.
This is on my mind, and I'm telling you, this just kind of goes back to I've just lost faith in people.
I don't think that's the right statement.
It's how I feel right now. Probably not the right statement, but just how I feel.
No, but I don't think that's the right way to describe it. Maybe you've...
So Amazon changed the icon of their phone icon for iPhone or Android to push, just to update it. Okay. So they wanted to make it look more like a package, right? So it was So, do you have Amazon on your phone?
I have no idea. I know a lot, don't I?
So, anyhow, yeah, so here it is. Okay, so, right there.
Yeah?
Alright, so, for all of you can see what I'm talking about. Where's it at?
Right there. Turn the phone a little.
It won't focus. Where's the camera at? Oh, there it is. Okay, so right there. That little brown thing.
Look like a little brown package with a smile on it.
With the smile on it. Is the new Amazon icon. Now, before they've just changed it twice. Before it went to that one, that looked like a piece of tape coming down and it peeled back. It was the brown package with the blue piece of tape that come down, but the tape was jagged. It wasn't folded partway.
Okay.
And then, of course, it had the black arrow with the smile thing. Would you believe that people went as far as complaining and petitioning that it resembled a Hitler smile? And forced Amazon to change that within like 2 days of them putting it out. Can you believe that? I don't know why I got off on that, but like you can see how it looks like just a piece of tape pulled back.
Mm-hmm.
It did look like a jagged edge, and they said it resembled Hitler smiling. I can feel my blood. I don't even know why I got off on that, but it was on my mind. What did we do?
There's a whole lot
30.
more to focus on than that. 36, 7, and 8.
36, 37, 38. Shoot. 36, 37, 38. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Bible readers. I'm Tara Lee Cobble, and I'm your host for the Bible Recap. Every month, we offer bonus goodies to those of you who are a part of our Patreon community. This month, we have a bonus episode about the 5 prayers I pray every day before I read the Bible. You can check out today's show notes for a link to our Patreon so you don't miss out on this, or visit the Patreon link on our website, thebiblerecap.com. Yesterday, we left off with Moses telling the people what was needed to build the tabernacle where God would dwell in their midst. And God said anyone who felt like could contribute. Today, we open with God putting intelligence and skill into the craftsmen so they could build the sanctuary just like he wanted it. Then we see loads of people bringing stuff to donate. They're dropping things off every morning. They are KonMariing their tents like crazy. So much so that Moses has to tell them to stop. I love how God over-provided here. This really signals repentance on their parts. And it's fitting because Romans 2:4 tells us God's kindness leads us to repentance. And he has certainly been kind to them in sparing their lives after that golden calf debacle and renewing his covenant with them. We have some lengthy passages that may seem redundant to you since we just read this a few days ago when God gave these instructions. But the point of this repetition is to highlight that the people who just rebelled were actually following God's instructions to the letter. Don't miss that. We are going to have plenty of opportunities to be frustrated with their sins, so let's just take a moment to enjoy and appreciate this rare moment of obedience. It might be boring, but it's glorifying to God nonetheless. Not only that, but each of these pieces of furniture, and even the way they're arranged in the tabernacle in the shape of a cross, paint a divine picture for us. All of this, the tabernacle and its furnishings, and all the rituals associated with it, Hebrews 9-10 tells us that this is all just a shadow of the good things to come. This, right now, is foreshadowing Christ. Each piece of furniture symbolizes some aspect of our relationship with God. The brazen altar, which is the first piece you encounter, represents the sacrifice of Christ. The bronze laver, which is the wash basin, represents being washed clean. The table of showbread represents feasting on the word. The altar of incense represents prayer. The menorah or candlestick represents the light of the Holy Spirit constantly aflame in us. And of course, the Ark of the Covenant and the mercy seat, where God dwells, represent his presence with us. And we don't have time to unpack this fully, but they also parallel the 7 days of creation. You may have noticed that there are 7 pieces of furniture, the 7th piece being the mercy seat on which God's presence rests, much like him resting on the 7th day of creation. When you're reading about these pieces, don't forget what they represent. All of this construction was worth it to the Israelites. They donated their plunder, they melted down their shekels, they wove fabrics and crafted curtain rods, all so that God could dwell in the midst of them. Surely you already recognize yourself in these people a little bit. You've had moments of rebellion and golden calf parties, and you've had moments where you'd give away all your best possessions if it meant the nearness of God. I have a feeling you're in more of the second place right now. The fact that you're here listening after reading what many would consider a very dry passage of scripture, it tells me a little bit about that lampstand in your heart, that continual fire of the Spirit, burning even when you can't detect it. And that's where my God shot comes in for today. I see him here with us, drawing us near, even on the days when there's nothing flashy about it. Even in the spaces that feel routine or humdrum, he's in the ritual. He's in the ordinary. I bet there were days when these priests were mixing the incense and slaughtering the animals when they didn't feel any closer to God than they did beforehand. Was it really even doing anything? But they kept at it, trusting beyond their own understanding that doing these things over and over really did serve some kind of purpose, even when they couldn't see it. They trusted his word. They followed his commands. I hope you do too. Drawing near to God bit by bit will always be worth the slow days, because he's where the joy is.
Okay.
Okay, Bible readers, it's time for our weekly check-in.
Okay, what did she say? Can I back that up? Okay. So, 750... All right, it says 100 bases from... Okay, there was 100 talents of silver. 1 talent is 75 pounds. That's 750 pounds of silver.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Who's dinging me? Okay, so we are now on day... We're now on day 43, February 19th. So we're almost a month behind. This is a lot of detail. I know it's kind of easy to get lost in it. And I would be lying if I said I was not looking forward to getting past this area, because we've read some stuff that was pretty interesting. Pretty cool, and now there's a lot of detail that we're kind of hung in.
Yeah.
So here we are.
All right. Well,
We're an eventful crew this morning.
Yeah. This is kind of tough. Kind of tough sometimes, just getting back into the swing of a routine.
We'll be here again tomorrow.
Anyhow, thank y'all for joining us. If you did join us, remember we'll give away a Bible. So this will be day 2. So on day 6.
I thought this was day 3.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll let us know. We're gonna give a Bible away.
I don't remember. We're so far behind.
We may go live on that day.
Anyhow, so again, if you know someone that would like a Bible, a nice Bible with their name, the Bible that the Bibles that we read from. If you know somebody that'd like the Bible, put their name, or just message us their name. You don't have to put it out there for everybody to see. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, just send one of us a message with their name, and then on day 6 we'll draw the name, maybe announce it. But if you don't want to announce their name, we'll do it privately. It's no big deal.
Forgive us for being kind of quiet this morning. It's been kind of, yeah. You've been gone for like forever.
All right, guys. Thank y'all. Y'all have a wonderful. What's it?
Saturday, I think.
Today's Saturday. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday, and hopefully, God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
See if my little clicker's gonna work. Just gotta connect. Come on, here we go.
You and that clicker.
I'm gonna get it to work.
Why don't you just touch the? Oh, you've got 9 minutes and change to make it work.